I remember one night I was serving sandwiches, and one guy comes up to me, looks like he'd been crying, his life just been destroyed. He looks at me through his tears and he says, "Do you really think that sandwich is going to fix my problems?" And I was speechless. It's like, no, I don't know what to say. What they need isn't coming out of a car. It's not something you can deliver and even hand out, through your window. What they really need was the Lord.
Our Calling is a homeless service provider here in Dallas, Texas. We serve anywhere between 200 to 400 homeless individuals on a daily basis. We also have a search and rescue team that goes out all over Dallas County, finding folks that are behind liquor stores, camped out in the woods, under bridges, to just love on them and tell them that we're here and that we've got services available for them. This all got started back in 2001 when Wayne was at Dallas Theological Seminary. We were newlyweds, we had a brand new baby, and we were looking for a place where we could serve.
I'd worked with the homeless since I was a kid. I grew up, my parents were foster parents, so we had almost 70 different kids in our house. So when I saw the invitation to go down and feed the homeless, I thought, man, those are my people. I want to go.
Rip Parker was a huge part of the Friday night outreach that we participated in. Wayne and I just caught on to his passion and his fire.
The city opened up their new shelter, the Bridge, and we went from serving meals on the streets to actually serving in the Bridge's facility. You'd see people walk in and their lives were just destroyed, and they would be weeping, like their body would be shaking, weeping over their food. Really what they needed was more of a chaplain.
We couldn't fully minister in the way that we wanted to. And I had asked Wayne the question, isn't there another way? And there was a bit of a twinkle in his eye at that point, and he said,
a lighthouse, a place where they could come and seek refuge. That's what people need in the midst of the storm, in the midst of the chaos of life, something that points to them and says, here's hope. What do you think the homeless community needs?
Him.
Here.
Big time.
This drug has really took a hold of me, man, and I can't let go. I need something more powerful, man, and I know it's God,
So we started doing a lot more than serving food. Started mentoring guys on the streets.
It was a family event. We all participated. We would hop in the car and we would go and find people.
And it went from that to Bible studies and coffee shops. We'd have 35 homeless guys come into a coffee shop, and they would come in just to dig in God's word. We weren't serving meals. There was no freebies.
In June of 2009, we were officially a nonprofit.
People want to know that someone loves them and will be praying for them. So I encourage you to shake a lot of hands, give a lot of hugs.
Northwest Bible Church let us use one of their storage buildings. Everything was out of our family vehicle.
I was at lunch with a volunteer one time, and he said, "Wayne, you're destroying your family car." And so he paid to get a van and get it wrapped for us, and it was pretty awesome. And it became this sign. They knew that this van was not like other vans under a bridge. This is the one where people were there to help them. And even when we picked green shirts, it was fun because, green is the color of growth. But it also is the color of the signs on the highway that tell you where to get to where you're going.
We got the first building about 3 years after we had started Our Calling.
This is where people come in every day. They're hungry, they're hurting.
A cafe where people could come in and hang out for long hours so that we could really drill down and get to know people, mentor people, address some of the physical needs.
We get donations from people, and they need to be sorted, they need to be clean.
In the time we had with them, we had a chance to share the gospel, and for those that were already believers, to disciple them. Many of them actually decided to come and start working at Our Calling. Many of the hours that were put in down at Our Calling were by homeless people.
It's got 2 bedrooms in it, so we would use these for offices.
The office was the size of a closet and had 7 people with tiny little desks all around the wall.
By 2015, we were bursting at the seams. Picnic tables were out in the parking lot. Every table in the cafe was full. Our warehouse was bursting at the seams. The logistics of trying to serve so many people was beginning to get very overwhelming. We started looking for properties. We saw the one that we're in now on Cesar Chavez, and we thought 32,000 square feet is a really giant building, and that building looks like it needs a lot of work. And it felt impossible. But the Lord loves to work in impossible. I think that's his favorite place to be. We bought this building in 2015. April of 2017, we moved into the building here on Cesar Chavez.
We realized quickly we had to figure out how to help people escape homelessness, help them leave the hell they're in and find a new place to live and a new way to live. And so we start creating little databases, and before long, we're building some really cool apps. Now we're able to walk with people, love with them, lead them to Christ, and get a ton of people off the streets. Today, we are continuing to help our homeless neighbors walk with Jesus and get off the streets, meeting the needs of hundreds of men and women while providing meals and other critically needed services.
I am blown away by what God has done and the way he has provided for Our Calling, for our staff members, for our homeless friends especially.
We want to lead people to Christ. Not only does God treasure them and love them, but we do too.
This year we celebrate 15 years since we started officially as Our Calling. And this year I turned 50. It's fun to see how the Lord has provided all these years. It's not because of me. It's not because of Carolyn. It's because God's hand has moved. But there's still a lot of bridges with lots of people sleeping under them. There's still a lot of camps where people are isolated and alone. There's over 8 million people in the Metroplex now, the fastest growing Metroplex in the nation. And there's a lot of people in desperate need. And they need more than food, and they need more than prayer. They need Jesus. And they need an exit plan off these streets. And by God's grace and his mercy and his blessing, we've been able to watch him do some amazing things all these years. But I can't wait to see what's next. I can't wait to see the next version, the next chapter, the next moment, when the Lord opens the next door, brings the next person, encourages the next donor, walks in the next volunteer. We're about to watch the Lord do something amazing. And what we've seen yet is just a taste. And the best is yet to come.